There you go. Go ahead. Yeah. As you know, we're here for a charity, and my wonderful stepdaughter will be out here in a minute to tell you all about it. But I want to make sure that you all know how much we appreciate you coming out here tonight and how much this charity means to Jenna and her group, and you're going to hear all about her platform. So without any other further ado, please welcome my beautiful stepdaughter, Jenna Holdridge. Now, oh, did you fumble? So we've done a few of these before, and Jenna always tells some pretty corny jokes. And they usually don't go over very well, so maybe you guys can laugh. Would you please tell all of our audience about your platform, and then tell us some jokes?
Well, they probably won't be funny, but I'll try for you guys. I am a local title holder for the Miss America organization. My title is Miss Northern Counties 2015. Thank you. I get to compete in Miss Nevada in June, at the end of June, so that's really exciting. All title holders have a personal platform, and mine is Suicide Prevention and Awareness. My platform is entitled Love, which stands for Let Our Voices Encourage. My brother committed suicide, or my brother-in-law, although he was around for as long as I could remember. He committed suicide when I was in 3rd grade, and it changed my life. It kind of opened me up to a new world that I had never been experienced. I never experienced that. It was the first time I had experienced death, and it changed me. And from that day on, I wanted to help and I wanted to prevent it, and here I am. So a thing with Patrick and I was that we always watched The Simpsons. So my first joke is going to be a Simpsons joke. What is Homer Simpson's favorite ice cream? Chocolate chip cookie dough. Yeah, Alyssa. And the second one is, oh man. Bear with me. I'm not a comedian. That's their job. Oh yeah. How did Captain Hook die? He wiped his bum with the wrong hand.
Oh, well, thank you. The first one was better. All right, so we're going to introduce our first comic, and this is, thank you, Jenna. She'll be back to introduce some people later. Our first comic is a guy I met when I was 4 years old, and I had the strange experience of growing up with him and being in his class every year, lucky me, and you're going to see why it was so strange. So without any further ado, please welcome Jeffrey Anderson.
Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, hi.
Yes, good. I love John. I always have. What a good crowd. What a nice audience you are. This is great. Let me introduce myself. I'm Astro. I'll be entertaining you a little bit tonight, but I have a salon over on Kitsky. You can't miss it. I'm right next to Danny's House of Ding Dongs. Get your mind out of the gutter. He sells chimes and stuff. And on the other side is Leslie's Pool. And I hate Leslie. Bitch. She's hideous. She said, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I think I see something over here. Oh goodness. John told me you'd be here. Who did this to you? This is hideous. That is just, yes, I'm talking to her, but I'm still looking at you. Oh my goodness gracious, I've never seen this. Who did this to you? Tell me.
Sharon.
Sharon. Sharon from House of Shears, possibly. That's why I moved from Plum. It was too fruity plus her, so I got the heck out of there. But I can fix it. Come to my salon. I now have a new associate. His name is Dick Beaver. He does all the waxing. So I'm kind of looking at you and saying, you know something? I could make you like a redhead, like a ginge, like all over, possibly, if you want. Yes, and I love Dick Beaver. He's not sure what side of the fence he's on, but if he works with me, he'll know. Yes, yes. How about Katy Perry, everybody, at Super Bowl? Did you love her? I love Katy Perry. I love the Super Bowl with all the sweaty men having fun for 2 hours or better. So I love her music. I play it in my salon. It's great, except that one song. I don't like it. I kissed a girl, and I didn't like it. So that's what got me here today. Anyway, thank you guys. That's based on a true story, okay? So I'm in the Bay Area, and I need a haircut. So I look over across the street from my hotel, and as you can tell, I'm like a Supercuts guy. This is no prize either. I'm hideous as well. So I kid you not. I look over, and it's Chez Rene, which scared me anyway, okay, right off the bat. And I'm in the Bay Area. So I said, what the hell? Okay, so I go over there, sitting in the lobby. It's really a foo-foo-y type of place, right? And I'm just kind of daydreaming, and I get a tap on the shoulder. This guy gets right in my face, and he goes, hi, I'm Astro, and I'll be shampooing you today, which scared me because he was happy as hell about the whole experience, right? But my heart starts pounding a little bit because I know where I'm going. I'm going back to the back room where nobody can see you, right? I'm following Astro. I feel like I'm walking the Green Mile to the electric chair, okay? Heart's pounding. Oh, my God. What an experience. This is going to be brutal. So I sit back there, and I'm in the room. Nobody can see you. And now I am placing my head in the reverse guillotine position, right? Where you can't escape. You might as well get strapped down and have them put the lethal injection in, right? So I'm back there. I got my eyes closed, heart's pounding like I'm smuggling drugs through Turkey. I'm scared to death. So Astro starts. Oh, God. Oh, man, this can't end early enough. And he's working it. And pretty soon I go, you know, that feels pretty good. Wow, this guy knows what he's doing. And I open like one eye, because you got to keep them closed. I open one eye, and Astro's package is about right here, okay? And it was pretty impressive, to be quite honest with you. So the package is right there. He's continuing, and I'm enjoying myself now, which scares me. I'm questioning my manhood, right? He's doing a good job. And so I thought to myself, maybe I should change churches or something. And then all of a sudden it moved, and I go, oh, see, I'm bragging now. I go, oh, man. So he's shampooing away. And finally I said, man, this guy gives really good head, you know. So we get done with the whole experience, and he's toweling me off, and there's that little awkward time period where you don't know what to say, and you're dripping a little bit. And I said, hey, Astro, I mean, really, I kid you not, man, that was the best shampoo I've ever had in my entire life. Astro was really good. He looks at me, and he goes, don't be so formal. All my friends call me ass. And it was everything I could do to go, I'll bet they do, bud, you know. But I got the hell out of there, that's for sure. Any divas? Well, of course, we got a couple of divas right over here, but I see a lot of other divas out there. Not you, sir. But so Divas Day Out, right? Grand Sierra. 5,000 women. All colors, creeds, sizes, dressed to the nines. I mean, it was a plethora of women. And they'd all been drinking since 7 a.m., so it was like a heterosexual man's dream, right? So they're walking past, and we're working a comedy booth there. And I got picked up on by a cougar. Honest to God, yeah. Best-looking 89-year-old woman I've ever slept with in my entire life. She was hot. She was hot. Had a pair of orthopedic spikes on, you know, like Jenna's over here, you know. So she said, hey, what are you doing after the show? And I said, well, I don't know. And, well, how'd you like to come over to my place? So I said, oh, what the hell? So I got on her Rascal, and we drove over to her place. And it was pretty tricked out with rims and a stereo and everything. So we get back, and we're getting busy. And it took me a little while to get that depend off her. But once I did, I was, like, thoroughly impressed. And later I found out that because she was elderly, obviously, and she says she was more like a saber-tooth than a cougar, okay? So I'm not sure what I was getting into. Anyway, so I get this. She's wearing one of these new Super Depends. Have you heard about these? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These are like $15 a pair, okay? They're expensive, but they're designed for Alzheimer's patients that might wander into a bad area, you know, because they're Teflon coated, Kevlar reinforced. They carry a 7-beer capacity, and it has a one-leg feature where it can come off one leg at a time. You can just kick it into the street and keep moving, you know? So we get done getting that thing taken care of, and I look down and I go, man, that's very impressive. I said, who does your waxing? And she told me, no, honey, at my age, it just all fell out. So that's about it for that, you know. Thank you, guys. You've been a great crowd. I appreciate being able to entertain you here for a good cause. I've known Jenna forever. She was 10 years old when I moved to town. I used to refer to her as Gummy Bear, and she's quite a gummy bear now. There's no question about that. So thank you again. A big round of applause for the charity and 4th Street for opening up this whole venue to us, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Crazy Jeff. He's been doing that same act since 4th grade, just so you know. Yeah. All right, so our next comedian has written me a lengthy introduction. So you might recognize him as the 1999 miniature horse riding national champion, the 2001 SeaWorld Most Disagreeable Child, and is reigning champion at the National Alpaca Beard Growing Championship. Give it up for Robbie Moen.
Whew. Also, that's alopecia. Yes, I know some of you got that. Let me get rid of this sitting thing. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! Okay, some of you are okay. I'm very proud of you guys for supporting such a good cause. Coming out to see some comedy, that's great. This guy wishes he could have just donated and stayed at home. That's okay. It's okay. I get asked a couple of questions after every show, and I'm just going to answer them now, so you know, we can just kind of get it out of the way. I'm not the return of hipster Jesus Christ. Okay. Number 2, I cannot sell you weed after the show. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Some of you might be a little bit confused. You may have looked at the poster before you came here, maybe not. Can we throw the poster up real quick? Yeah? No? There it is. Okay, if you didn't know, this is me. Yes, thank you for the laughs before I even joke about it. That was taken off my Facebook from about 5 years ago. I look like a drunken hobbit. So, yeah, right? There you go. I'm 16, lady. That's a creep. Just kidding. I broke my glasses today, actually just before I got here, which is like the worst possible thing. Do we have any 4 eyes in here? Any people wear glasses? Nerds? Okay. Yeah, well, I broke them, and if you wear glasses and you know what it means when you tape them together, it doesn't work. Because what it does is it skews them, and it messes up your eyesight. So right now, this lady looks like a Picasso painting with an eyeball on her boob. Either that or it's really cold in here. Yeah. Okay, so I've recently been traveling for work. I travel for work. It's not drug smuggling. And so I haven't been doing comedy recently. So this is kind of my first performance in a while. Now, the problem with doing comedy is it is nothing like riding a bicycle. Riding a bicycle, you just get up and you do it again. Comedy is more like water skiing, or even more like sex, where if you haven't done them in a while, like me, it's like you've never done it at all. So we'll just see how the rest of this goes. So I have been traveling, which means I get a lot of time to read. And I don't like reading Kindles or iPads because that's just another step for the robots to take over the world. I like books. Anybody else here read books? Yeah. It's so nice to be here in same company. In my generation, telling somebody that you read books is kind of like admitting that you still worship Thor. Like you're like, oh, I was reading this book the other day. You mean your Kindle? No, like a book. I was reading a book. You look at their face and you might as well have just said, I sacrificed a goat to the thunder god. Bookshelves. Anybody know what those are here? Yes. This is great. You know, it's not often where I perform for people who like know what books are or have bookshelves or like drive a car or anything like, or are not currently on methamphetamines, which I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying it's unusual for me. So bookshelves are kind of like this old archaic way of other people to look at your Google history. This lady is like, yeah, I shouldn't have left that Kama Sutra on the bookshelf. Gave away a lot. There was a period of my time when, period of my life, where I was, now don't judge me, sir, when I was a little bit interested in this little Eastern discipline called Tantra. Now, for those of you who don't know, and some of you might be thinking the way I did, I thought Tantra was basically mind control for your penis. It is like 1,000 times more boring than that. But, so I have the Tantra book on my bookshelf, and right next to that is a book on Scientology. I'm not a Scientologist. Any Scientologists in the room? One person when you're not supposed to tell anybody. That's the whole rule. Anyways, I was doing a report on Scientology, and so I have a Scientology book there, and I once had a young lady enter my room for completely innocent purposes. And when she saw the Tantra book right next to the Scientology book, those purposes remained innocent forever. I never saw her again. Now, I moved to Reno about a year and a half ago, and Reno has some pretty beautiful parks, okay? We've got a lot of parks, and the other day I went to a park. Weird, I know. So I was at the park, and you know, the thing about Reno, which I love, but in other towns, in other states, you go to the park and you can see picnics and dogs chasing frisbees and all sorts of really fun activities. In Reno, parks are sort of these big open places where everybody kind of just has a free pass to wear a giant knife on their belt. This, you know. He's like, yeah. So I go to the park and everybody has knives on their belts. Like, it's really weird. I saw a guy swinging around a stick, and I get closer, and it's just a camouflage knife. Like, it's really strange. And I started to feel a little bit uneasy, but not so much because of the knives, but because of all the skateboarders. Now, let me tell you why skateboarders terrify me. They have no regard for their own physical well-being at all. You see there's packs of them, packs like wolves. They travel in packs, and pretty much they spend their entire day thinking of new ways to injure themselves. But more than skateboarders, really the only other group of people that like to hurt themselves more are teenage girls with eyebrow piercings. And if you want to see flocks and flocks of teenage girls with eyebrow piercings with no regard for their physical well-being, go to the park. Now, this is a little bit different of a group than usual, but does anybody here know what Tinder is? No. I'm going to tell you exactly what Tinder is, and you can go, yeah, these three girls excluded. You're going to ask your kids later what Tinder is, and they're going to lie to you. They're going to lie to your face more than they have ever lied to you before. And let me tell you what it is. Basically, Tinder is the online phone version of looking around a room, preferably at a bar or something like this, seeing someone and going, yeah. Then looking around again, seeing somebody else, being like, yeah. Looking at someone else, being like, yeah, And then, yeah. So that's basically what it is, okay? Now, what happens on Tinder is you have pictures of yourself and you have a little bio where you get to talk about how much you love dogs and music and things like that. And I was sitting at the DMV and I was on Tinder, like you do. Well, you guys don't. You three do. You definitely do. And you're looking through profiles, going like, And I come across this girl, okay. And in her little bio, it says, former college athlete. Which I thought was weird because it looked more like she played tuba in college. But, you know, she could have played softball, I don't know. And so, former college athlete, and I thought about that. And it's kind of like saying, I used to be pretty and athletic and popular, but that was the old me. So there you go. Now you know what Tinder is. Ask your kids. They will lie to you some more. Thank you, everybody. That's my time. My name's Robbie Moen.
I'm back. So after this next act, you guys are going to hear a little bit more about the Solace Tree, which is the organization that all of your money is going to. Up next, as seen on Castle and Criminal Minds, Reno's second favorite actor and third favorite comedian, Doug Hunter.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you. Hey, somebody left their phone up here. Yeah, I am Doug Hunter, Reno's second favorite actor, third favorite comedian. Thank all four of you for voting. I mean, can I get some help this year? I mean, seriously, freaking vote. I had to vote for myself, and I still couldn't win. I was on Castle and Criminal Minds. You might have seen me. But if you say you saw me, I'll know you're lying, because I was on for a grand total of 17 seconds. One more time, can we give a round of applause to Jenna? I mean, what a great thing she's doing and representing us for Miss Nevada. Okay, back to me. That's enough. Back to me. I got engaged a couple months ago. I know. She said yes. First time, too. Well, first time she said yes. I mean, getting engaged is scary. Like the other day, we're driving down the street, and we're passing the Silver Bells Chapel, and she says, you know what, honey? We could get married today. And I said, yeah, but we need to call our parents, and there's planning, but inside. Because it's important. Getting engaged signals the balance of power shift in your relationship. She knows that there's a balance shift. When you start dating, a man or a woman to start dating, the woman holds all the juice, right? She can say no, she can say yes, and all we can do is keep calling and saying, baby, you're so pretty. I love you. But then you get engaged, and the balance of power shifts. She's looking at her ring, showing her friends. In the back of your mind, you're going, oh, yeah, I own that. That's mine. But then you get married. Balance of power shifts again. It might not happen the night of the wedding, but it'll happen soon. And she will do one of two things. Either deny you or boss you around. Because being bossy is her favorite thing to do, and denying you is her second favorite thing to do. That one's bossy. But in the back of her mind, while she's being bossy and you're carrying out the trash, she's saying, "Oh, I got that fool." But, I love women. All of them. Just delicious. I love them all. Big, tall, fat, small. Don't matter. I love all women. Even the ugly ones. Any ugly broads in here? Whew. Whew. No, really, I do. I love them. Even the ones that do like a 100-yard dash and a 90-yard gym. Those are the ones I really love. Come on. But as much as I love women, I will never admit that I understand them. I don't get them. Men and women are so different, it's amazing that we're the same species. For example, dogs. They can lick their own parts, sniff each other's butts, and everything's fine. But I fart in public and she gets crazy eyes. But it's different when a woman farts. It's amazing when a woman farts. And not in the good way. You know, it sneaks up on you. You'll be driving down the road, and she just reaches over and cracks open the window. Doesn't say a word. And you don't get it because you're a guy and you're dumb. And then it starts to hit you. What did you... Oh, and you're gasping, you're trying to get the window down, sticking your head out, putting the air freshener up your nostrils, or your phone, something. You got to do something, because this is the worst thing you've ever smelled in your life. And you look at her and you're like, how could something that awful come out of something that beautiful? Dead rodents don't smell like that. But as much as I don't get women, I do get men and I do get children. That's because I am a boy and a man at the same time. Like most men. Kids do funny stuff. My daughter and I, when she was young, we were in line at the grocery store. Just waiting our turn, and she pulls on my sleeve. Hey, Dad, that lady in front of us is fat. And as I hold back every giggle I've ever had, I tell her, honey, if we can't say anything nice, we don't say anything at all. A few moments later, she pulls on my sleeve again. Daddy, that fat lady has nice shoes. True story. But boys are different. Boys are dumb. It's around 12 or 13, boys get hit with a dumb stick, and it doesn't change. This happened, again, a true story. Our middle one put a cup of noodles in the microwave, set it for 5 minutes, and walked away without water. So, with the house filling with styrofoam smoke, all the alarms going off, I rushed downstairs. Dude, what happened? I forgot the water, man. Don't you think we could crack a window or turn on a fan? Do something? The best actually was the next day. His buddy came over, and I was telling the story. I said, yeah, he did this, and I can't believe it. And we're just trying to air out the house so the styrofoam smoke doesn't embed itself into the drywall. His buddy says, huh, I've done that. You're just like, are you freaking kidding me? But I don't know if there's any young couples out here looking to have a family, but I got some advice for you. Don't do it. Do not have children. If you do, say one slips past the goalie, one gets in there and she's walking around with the bump, stop at 2. Because once again, if you go more than 2, the balance of power shifted. You've lost your power to the vagina. Don't lose it to the children. The vagina is a powerful thing. Listen, in our house, vagina is a superstar. It's undefeated. It's on a win streak of like 5,000-0. It keeps going. I got no chance. I love the vagina. You guys having a good time? Delicious. Anybody drinking out there? It's a good thing because I'm funnier when they're drunk. She just said that's true, and she's sober. One of the fundamental differences between a man and a woman is what happens when they drink. When a woman drinks, she talks a lot. But when a man talks, he talks in tongues. It's as if he takes on the personality of his cocktail. I know this is true for me. When I have scotch, all I can do is speak with a Scottish accent. Aye, lassie. Ever hear of William Wallace? And when I drink tequila, I may look like Slowpoke Rodriguez, but in bed, I am Speedy Gonzales. When I drink Heineken, hey, so you want you and me, we do a push-up contest, yeah? Rum. Hello, puppet. What say you ride under the sail of this pirate, huh? Moonshine. You don't look like my sister, but we can pretend. Bud Light. Oh, yeah. That's mine. I own that. Thanks, everyone, for coming out tonight. I'm Doug Hunter. Thank you, Jenna, for putting this on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. All right, we're going to take a short, maybe 10-minute break. Everybody go to the bar. Mike's ready to serve you. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to see Kelly, our headliner. So go visit Mike, please. Thanks, guys. All right, Jenna, come on back out. Okay, before we introduce our headliner, Jenna's going to say a few words about Solistry, as you can see, and she's been involved with them for a while, so she knows a lot more about it than I do.
Okay, so currently I'm going through training. I'm not completely a volunteer yet, but I'm getting there. I actually got to walk through the Solace Tree with Emilio. He's really awesome, and it made me completely fall in love with the organization. They break people into different age groups, and they do activities to help move along the grieving process where they can talk about what they're feeling, or if they don't want to talk, they can even just sit and listen to what other people have to say. But the great thing about it is that when you sit and listen to what other people say, you have stuff to add on to it. So everybody benefits from it, and everybody that walks through the door is just welcomed with open arms. And it's a place where you can talk about, my brother committed suicide. I walked in on my mom hanging in the garage. And you don't get a cocked head. Everybody's been through something of that sort. They've all gone through death. They've all gone through pain. And it's somewhere where you aren't looked at as different. And it's truly amazing. My favorite room in the building is kind of a safe room. It's padded all along the walls and all on the floor. And there's I did try it out. It's not you're on my list. And there's a big punching bag in the middle. And you can just let out all the anger that you have if that's the way that you get through things. So the supplies that are needed for these kids and adults, there's puppets, so you can talk through a puppet. And there's art supplies that are needed for the kids. One of my favorite paintings that I actually saw in the Solace Tree, like I said, a little girl walked in to her mom hanging in the garage, and it's harsh. But all the kids made paintings, and this little girl drew a rainbow, and there's the word love in front of it. And she painted her mom and her dad and herself. And it just shows that Emilio took something so negative and completely made it positive. This painting is full of colors. It's full of positivity. And he truly changes all these people's lives. And I know he's changed mine. When I lost my brother, I didn't have an organization like this that I could go to. So it really touches my heart that there's something like this now, that people can come into this safe place if they need help getting through what they've been through. So I'm done.
So no, very well said. Let's give Jenna a hand. She puts a lot of time and effort into helping a lot of people, and her heart is truly in it all the time. So if you can throw a couple of dollars in an envelope, give it to Jennifer on your way out. We appreciate it. If you can, it's okay. We get it. We thank you for that. And now Jenna's going to introduce our headliner for the night. Do you have your notes? Oh.
Okay, so last but not least, we have Robbie. You might recognize him as the 1999 miniature horse riding national champion. Oh, hold on. I totally got the wrong thing. You guys already heard that. All right, so I'm going to go to some different notes, and I'm going to tell you a joke, because that was obviously a joke. So before I introduce the last person, hold on, let me. Okay, why did Beethoven kill his chicken? It kept saying, back, back, back. Okay, so now, that was the last joke from me. Our last, stop laughing. Forgive me. Okay, Kelly is our headliner. Oh man, this is so small. I am just digging myself in a hole. John. I can't read this. I need some help.
Okay, thank you, Jenna. Yeah. Okay, our local up-and-comer. Oh, hold on. Let me put my glasses on. You may have seen him. I know I've seen him many times at the Pioneer Underground. Please welcome Kelly Hilbert.
I was back there and she said miniature horse racing. And I honestly thought that was like a cut on my height, man. That was some shit, man. You were getting some good laughs. You might as well just stayed up here, man, the whole time. And then I heard small and mini, and that's shit that guys just don't want to hear. You know what I mean? It was really messing with my ego back there. I don't know, man. Yeah, don't work around my house. Sorry, my ass. You guys having a good time tonight? Good, man, good. That's awesome. I don't know if you guys noticed when I was walking up here, I got a little bit of hitch in my getup, you know. And I wish I had a really cool story behind it, but I don't. All that really happened was I turned 40. I mean, honestly, that's what happened. I woke up 3 days after turning 40, and my hip hurt real bad. And this ain't a joke. This is a real story. I just want to share it with you guys. And I went to the chiropractor, and my pelvis had popped out of place. So now 3 times since I turned 40, and I turned 40 March 17th, my pelvis has popped out of place, which put me in a spot to remember my dad, because my dad, you know, before he passed away, he passed away when he was 59, and, you know, so he was getting up there in age, and I remember, like, he would fall asleep, and he'd be fine before he fell asleep, and he'd wake up, and he'd be limping. I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, I slept wrong. How in the fuck do you sleep wrong? Like, that's the most natural thing that you do in life is sleep. You know what I mean? Like, when we're born, all we do is sleep and eat, and we don't eat that much. And we get a lot of practice sleeping, and he was fucking it up. And so I would laugh at him about it, and he's like, oh, you'll get yours, you know. I'm getting mine now, I guess. I don't know. So that's why I'm kind of hobbling around a little bit. I don't know. Speaking of my dad, growing up, it was a little bit different time and stuff like that. You know, we didn't have the solitary. I wish we did. You know, I lost my mom when I was a young kid, about 11 years old, and you know, around my house, the way it was set up was, my mom was the protector of the family, like inside of the house, and my dad was the enforcer of the family, and we were scared as hell of my dad, you know, and we didn't have CPS either. I wish we had both of them, you know what I mean? But, like, I remember, when my mom passed away, you know, I mean, it was a sad deal and everything, and we didn't know how to cope with a lot of things. But one of my biggest fears when my mom passed away was I honestly thought, as 11 years old, with her not being there to protect us and CPS not being there, I thought my dad was going to kill me because I was an unruly child, man. So he just, you know, and he didn't. So, I don't know. But it's awesome to be, you know, asked to come out and be part of this event and everything. So, but speaking of that, like I said, he was kind of old school and everything like that. And watching him grow up, you know, I think every kid goes through this where you get embarrassed of your parents. You know what I mean? You just don't want them around. And it's not the right thing to be thinking, but it's just how it is. And with my dad, the reason why it was like, he just stopped caring at some point in time when he was getting older. Like, he fell off the fashion tree. And my dad would wear, like, Coach's shorts. You know them polyester, shiny Coach's shorts? And he'd wear tube socks up to about here with stripes on them, and they never matched. And he'd wear, like, a cut-off button-up shirt, you know, like an old Western shirt, and Velcro shoes, okay? Which was sweet, you know what I mean? So, like, not only did I fear my dad, so, like, when I got in trouble, I never wanted my dad to know about it, but I didn't want him to know about it, you know, like, I didn't want him to show up at my school to pick me up. You know what I mean? Like, because that's just some embarrassing shit right there. I remember I stole this car when I was a kid, and I don't recommend doing that, but when I was 13 years old, I stole this car, and we got pulled over by the cops, you know, 3 13-year-olds sitting in this little car. And we thought we were cool and everything. But the cop pulled us over, and he's like, I don't know what to do with you. Take you to Wittenberg or call your parents. It's like, take me to jail, okay? I'm serious. Like, kids nowadays, man, they're like, oh, yeah, call my parents. They don't care, you know what I mean? Because we can't do nothing to our kids anymore, you know? And I'm not saying that we need to, you know, like, destroy them, you know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes, you know. But, see, my dad knew this. I have a reset button right here. Okay, and I didn't know that's what he was doing when I was a kid, but we would be in the store. This is how my dad was. We'd be in the store, and I'd be behaving because I didn't want to get my ass whooped. And then some other stupid kid over here would be acting up, and my dad would hit me. Wow, if you act like that, I'm going to whoop your ass. Isn't that what you just did? I wasn't even doing nothing. So that's how it came. That's how I was brought up. I grew up in Sun Valley, you know, just right up the road up here, you know, Felony Valley, whatever they want to call it, Scum Valley. I was standing in front of a judge. You know, part of my story, you know, is I spent a lot of time in front of judges. And I was standing in front of this judge one time, and then he's looking at me. He's like, "Mr. Hilbert, you got to clean up your act, or we're going to send you to prison." And I was like, "Oh, God, I don't want to go to prison." He goes, "You don't want to go to prison because, you know, your neighbor's going to be murderers and rapists and drug dealers." I was like, "Dude, I'm from Sun Valley. That is my neighbors." That'd be like a family reunion right there. So, I don't know. You guys are fun. Yeah, it's good when you don't live it. Horseshit. Growing up, I promise you this is the truth, man, is I always wanted to be a drug dealer. I did. It just looks so glamorous when you see it on TV. When they show it on TV, they don't show all the bad stuff that happens, like New Jack City and all that stuff. It just shows well, maybe some of the bad stuff, but we always see the good stuff, not the bad stuff, or at least I do. And so I wanted to be a drug dealer, you know, but I always put it off. And one day, man, I was like, man, I'm going to go be a drug dealer. And I went to this guy, you know, up in Sun Valley that I knew. I knew him all my life, you know, knew him. I got great grammar, too. You can blame her because she was like, "You need to pronunciate everything correctly." I was like, "What the fuck is this, English?" No. Anyway, so I went to my drug dealer's house, and I was like, "Hey, man, you know, I want to be a drug dealer." And he's like, "You want to be a drug dealer?" I was like, "Yeah, man." And I thought it was like the same process as getting hired at like Albertsons or something like that. I did. I thought you went and talked to the drug dealer, put in an application, left, and they call you like in a couple days and be like, "Hey, we need a spot filled." That's not how it works, man. So I show up and I ask him, and he's like, "All right, let's go." I was like, I ain't even fucking dressed right, you know what I mean? I'm wearing like jogging pants, you know. I got a T-shirt on, and he goes, "You got a gun?" Yeah, doesn't everybody got a gun? So I did have the gun. I had that one in private. So we went, true story, man. We get downtown Reno. He goes, "Grab your gun." So I go grab my gun. I put it in my waistband, and I got my sweats on. So I start walking, and I'm just a white dude, you know, I ain't a real criminal. And I start walking the best drug dealer walk that I can think of at the time, you know. So I'm like, I'm really feeling like I'm in New Jack City right now. Next thing I know, I hear my gun fell out my waistband, and it slid all the way down my leg out the bottom of my pants, and it broke on the asphalt in the parking lot. So I'm kneeled over trying to pick up the pieces. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm new." I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I got put on suspension my first night of being a drug dealer. Matter of fact, I actually got fired the first night of being. That was a short-lived job for me. I don't know. I don't put that on any applications when I'm trying out for jobs. I don't know how you explain. I don't know. You're kind of a dumbass getting fired from being a drug dealer. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just didn't have the right guidance, I guess. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I've done a lot of different things. Like I mentioned, I just turned 40. Crazy things are happening now that I've turned 40. One of the things that I had to do, you know, between my fiance and another friend of mine was I had to go do that one doctor visit. He says, "You done it?" Oh yeah, hell with that, right? Did you go on your own will, or did she set it up for you? Yeah. Yeah. He says that. I'm sitting here worried about saying some racial shit, and he breaks the ice for me. Solid, brother. Solid. Go with the Asian guys. They're small. No, so we're all having fun. Ain't no big deal. So here's the thing, though, is like I get convinced to go do this doctor visit thing, but I don't have a doctor to go to. I don't go to doctors for regular stuff. I self-medicated for 24 years of my life. Who needs a doctor? You know what I mean? Ain't nothing that a bottle of Jack Daniels can't fix. So now that I don't drink anymore, I don't have a doctor, and my fiance, she's like, well, I got a couple doctors you can pick from. I'm like, okay. So she starts explaining the doctors to me. You know, like this one's 6'4", dark hair, really light complected. You know, I was like, what the fuck? You put me on a date with this guy? Like, I just want him to stick his finger in my butt. Well, I not want him to stick, you know what I mean? Like, don't, like, yeah, pronunciate, you know. I should have listened to English. But you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm going there for. So she sets me up with this one doctor. She said, oh, he's perfect for you. I still feel a little weird about it. So, but I settled into it, you know, and this is about 3 weeks out. My appointment's like 3 weeks away. And I'm cool with it until about 2 nights before. And I'm sitting at home by myself, and I start thinking, like, I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to wear to my doctor visit. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be too timid. You know what I mean? I don't want to show up and not be available for this guy's services. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be too open either. That I'm really worried. I shouldn't wear assless chaps. Because I just think that's too forthcoming. You know? You know what I mean? So I'm really racking my brains. I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is just how my brain works. And I'm getting really nervous about wearing the wrong stuff. So I'm trying on these different clothes, and my fiance walks in, and she's like, what in the world are you doing? I was like, well, I don't know what to wear to the doctor, honey. And she's like, just fucking wear what you're wearing. It's no big deal, you know? And I was like, yeah, but what if he doesn't like it? What the fuck are you going? You know damn well why I'm going there. You know what I mean? Like, don't ask me why I'm going there. So she settles me down. She goes, if it makes you feel any better, wear your lucky underwear. You're like, okay, every guy has a pair of lucky underwear. I think every woman has a pair of lucky underwear too. So anyway, so I do wear my lucky underwear, and I get down to the doctor's office, and they get you in there, and I don't understand why they do it. Well, I think I know. I think they want you to be nervous. I think they have little hidden cameras in there, and they watch you just kind of sweat. Oh, God damn. It hurts. I wasn't even joking. My shit hurts. And so I'm sitting there. I'm in the doctor's office room by myself. They leave you in there for like 5-10 minutes all by yourself, man. And, you know, I played with the popsicle sticks, and I've opened drawers, checking out what they got in there. And I can't sit still long enough just to just sit there. So he walks in, and he's an older gentleman, and he didn't have small hands. First thing I noticed. Second thing I noticed was this guy stutters. Now, I don't have nothing against people who stutters. You know what I mean? I give a damn. Except for when I start thinking about them stuttering with their finger in my butt. Because now we're talking about a whole different story I'd be telling up here. You know what I mean? And I wasn't there for that. So I'm sitting there, and he's stuttering, and I'm having a hard time concentrating, and we start talking back and forth, and he's like, well, what do you want to do? Oh, shit, I thought some shit just jumped off outside, man. I was ready to go hide, man. Have you guys went in there and turned the fan on in the bathroom yet? Did this scare the hell out of you too? Yeah, because you turn it on, it don't come on, and then you start peeing, and then it's like, like a vulture's coming from the ceiling. I ain't gonna lie, I peed on the wall a little bit. I'm just saying. I cleaned it up. I didn't leave it for somebody else. It did, man. And it finally flows in, and it's a regular fan, but it scared the shit out of me. Piss out of me, I guess. Anyway. I don't think I should tell you stuff like that. I think you guys, I don't know. Anyways, okay, so it's fireworks. That's cool. Okay. All right. Aces game. Perfect. I know I just talked. I was getting the play-by-play by some bum out on the corner. Yeah, it was cool. Anyway, so I'm in the doctor's office. I'm sitting there, and we're talking, and he looks at me. He goes, well, what do you want to do? I go, I don't know. What do you want to do? Stupidest conversation. But I'm so nervous at this time because he's stuttering, and I know what he's going to do, and I can't remember why. I know why I'm there, but I can't remember the name of the procedure that I'm there for. So he goes, well, you made the appointment. What do you want to do? And the best I could do is I'm sitting on the end of the table. I'm looking at him like, maybe if you want to. You could stick your finger in my butt. He goes, do you want me to stick my finger in your butt? I don't know if you want to. And I'm all worked up, man. I'm like I don't want to sound weird about it, but like I'm ready. You know what I mean? Like, not that way, you know. But I'm there for a reason, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Yeah, he goes, well, we don't need to rush right into that. He goes, what you need to do is go get some blood work done and come back in like a couple weeks. So I kind of, I really didn't want a guy's finger in my butt, So I'm walking out to my truck, and I'm kind of skipping. I'm pretty happy right now. And I get to my truck, and I sit down, and then it kind of hit me, and I got kind of sad for a second. Because I started thinking, like, well, what was so wrong with me that he wouldn't stick his finger in my butt? Kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I haven't had it done yet. I don't know. You guys are fun, man. Now I know I can tell you guys personal stuff about me, and you guys can laugh at it. Like, that's how I got into comedy, to tell you the truth. I was sitting there telling real personal stories, trying to get sympathy from people, and they're laughing their asses off at me. In a recovery meeting, seriously, like, oh, you need to go be a comedian. You're funny. I was like, dude, this is real shit. I don't know. Another thing that happened to me that's kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell you anyways, is, like I said, I'm not old. I don't want you guys to think that I'm standing up here going, oh, I'm so old. I don't do that. I race motocross, I snowboard, all that stuff. We just all are growing older. And things happen, man. Like when I look up on my counter, there's preparation H, Aleve, and Doan's pills, you know what I mean? Because everything's hurting on me now. And I wake up like 2 o'clock in the morning one morning, and I got some bad pain in my stomach and coming from the back side. There's some bad stuff going on. But I don't know what it is. I ain't never experienced nothing like this. And what was it? I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh. So I'm sitting in my bath. I get up out of bed and I go into my bathroom to see what's going on in my backside, and I put a mirror on my bathroom floor. Well, because I can't bend all the way over like this, So, and I had it misplaced, so I just kind of hopped over it. And it looked like I had mushrooms growing out of my butt, man. I did. And come to find out later, I didn't know this at the time, but it was hemorrhoids. Okay? But like I said, I didn't know. I thought this was something that I caught from my fiance. I did. I was like, what in the world did she do to me, man? I was legitimately mad at my fiance because I thought she passed some shit on to me, And but apparently she didn't. So I'm sitting there, and it hurts a lot. Anybody that's had them, you don't have to admit it, but they just suck, man. And I didn't know how to get rid of them, so I hopped into a hot shower. I was thinking hot shower would help make them go down. But it didn't help them go down. It worsened them. So I just worsened my situation. It's 2:30 in the morning now, and I'm sitting on my couch. I mentioned I don't drink anymore, and the only thing I really care about in life anymore is Otter Pops. Okay? I love Otter Pops, man. So I'm sitting on the couch at 2:30 in the morning. I'm eating a blue Otter Pop, my favorite in the whole wide world, and I'm looking at it. That's the right size, man, just to sit in between my butt cheeks and cool them down a little bit, Look, and for you guys, fuck orange. Oh. But you guys are looking at me in judgment right now. I know it. I can feel it. But see, none of you guys were there at 2:30 in the morning to help me with my decision making. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So at 2:30 in the morning, I'm sitting there, and I got this blue Otter Pop stuck in between my butt cheeks. That's as far as it went. And it lasted about 30 seconds, and I realized how ridiculous I must look. So I took it out. I put it up on the counter. I could have put it back in the freezer. I think that would have been kind of funny, to tell you the truth. I got two stepgirls, man, 11 and 13. And And it wouldn't have been that bad if you think about it, because the wrapper was still on it at the time. So, you know, but I didn't do that. I put it up on the counter, and I ran out of Blue Otter Pops, and there's the last Blue Otter Pop sitting up on the counter. I only ate the tip of it. Once again, you weren't there to help me with my decision making. Okay? That's kind of personal, isn't it? Of course I'm a boy, I didn't wash it off. I'm a grown-ass man. No. I was mentioning the CPS, my dad and all that stuff, and you know, I really think CPS is ruined us being parents. You know, they've taken a lot of stuff away from us, and I've always been looking for a way to punish my stepgirls. You know, talking to them works so much. You know, and you're not supposed to put them in the corner because that's like separation anxiety it gives them or something. I don't know what it is. So I didn't know this. It wasn't a planned idea, but my oldest girl comes home and she wants me to teach her how to box. I used to box when I was a kid, and so I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you, you know, learn how to box. So we're messing around, and my boxing coach, Ray, from the Reno Jets, used to, you know, keep your hands up, and if you didn't keep your hands up, he'd give you a little pop on the side of your head. And so we're doing it. I'm like, Anna, you got to keep your hands up. She wouldn't keep her hands up, and all of a sudden it feels like just Ray took over my body, and she didn't put her hand up, and I whap. Now, I can't say how warm I felt inside over that moment. I did. I can't lie, man. It made me feel good. And it wasn't so much the little pop that I gave her, but her eyes got about that friggin' big, and she realized that she might want to start doing what the fuck she's supposed to be doing. Okay? Because I'm just saying, she has that reset button that I got, you know what I mean? I think we all got it. Because she started doing like, she taking the trash out more often, she cleaning her room the way, you know, the stuff that happens. I don't know. It's cool. I said I have the 2 stepkids. I mentioned I have a fiance. They came together. And not in that way. And so I had, you know, we got our own little family going on up in Sun Valley and stuff like that. And we got a couple dogs, and you know, it's crazy, like how things like just kind of build up in relationships and everything like that. You know, we got 2 healers, and they sleep in our room and stuff like that. You know, when we were first together, you know, we treat our dogs like our kids. You know, they sleep on the bed and everything. And when it gets to be adult time, you know, it's like we kick the, you know, dogs off the bed and everything like that. And I remember one night, like we slacked on that a little bit, and you know, we was doing adult time and everything, and you know, I'm looking over this way. And I did some special move that I have, you know. Super special. And I turned, and I'm looking eye to eye with my dog, man. It doesn't sound that weird, except for when, like, you're in the moment, and it's just, like, glaring at it. Like, what the fuck you doing with Mom, you know? And I was like, shoo. Shoo. She doesn't know the dog's there. My fiance don't know the dog. She thinks I'm shooing her. So now she's getting mad at me for the way that I'm talking to the dog because she thinks I'm talking to her that way. So it's just one of them crazy things. But I bring up the dog because, you know, we got them, and I taught my dogs to protect the family. You know, they're very protective of my girls and all that stuff. And once again, one time when we were having adult fun, all of a sudden out of nowhere I hear a growl, and my dog bit me on my butt while we were having sex. I turned around, I was like, what in the world, you know? I didn't know how to punish my dog, though. I didn't. That's a strange thing to happen while you're having sex. The only thing I could think of, I rubbed his nose in it. That's the only thing that's what you do when they're, you know, go to the bathroom on the ground. So, some stupid ass shit. I like the little microphone. Anyways, so I mentioned... I go off on some rants sometimes, man, or, you know, things pop into my head, so I'd say excuse me, but that's just how it is with me. But I do have the 11 and 13-year-old, you know, we've been together, me and their mom have been together for like 6 years. We just got engaged, and, you know, so we're going to be married, I guess, next year or something like that, whenever she says we get married. Because I ain't the boss no more, man, you know what I mean? And well, yeah, it was a huge shit. I didn't know. That's how ignorant I am. I've been walking around for 6 years thinking I was in charge of my household. And I learned that I wasn't over Oreo cookies. I did. I learned it over Oreo cookies because I was sitting at home with my stepgirls, and she wasn't home. And she has a lot of rules. And one of the rules is we can't have cookies or snacks before dinner. And it was getting close to dinner time. But I wanted some Oreo cookies. That's my second favorite thing in the whole wide world. So I went into the pantry and I grabbed some Oreo cookies. And my youngest one, Emmy, she's like, "You can't have cookies before dinner." I was like, "So what?" She goes, "Oh, I'm telling Mama." And I was like, "I don't care. Tell Mama." And I went and sat down. And I got ready to start eating my cookie, but I thought about what I just said. And I looked at her. I was like, "You ain't really going to tell Mama on me, are you?" And that, in my head, it clicked. Like, I ain't the boss no more. Like, I'm scared to death of her, man. Sorry, I am. And you know, she's only like 5'3". You know, I'm scared of her, man. I'm scared of a lot of things. I learned I'm scared of bats. You know, I sound stupid, but I didn't know I was scared of bats. I had never been face to face with a bat to be scared of. You know what I mean? So I'd talk all this shit in the world about bats until I was up at Frenchman's, and there was a bat in one of our tents. Okay. And it wasn't no big deal. I was outside the tent. It was inside the food tent, and there's 2 entrances to the tent. My buddy Jeff says, "Hey, help me catch this bat. I'm going to come over here. He has a pot, and I'm going to catch the bat. You just have to stand here and make sure the bat doesn't leave the tent." I was like, "No problem, man. I ain't scared of no bat." Once again, I ain't never been face to face with a bat. That was going to change in about 3 seconds. A lot of things are going to change in about 3 seconds. So I'm standing there, and I'm just kind of like acting like a tough guy because there's a bunch of females there and all that stuff. And this is before me and my girl got together. And he comes walking in the tent. I don't know how this bat knew. It's like sonar or something like that. How Jeff was coming at him with the pot, but that bat took off directly at me. I mean, I was eye to eye with one of the biggest bats I've ever heard of. Yeah, probably in the world. And that thing came at me, and I swear to God, I hate to admit it, I screamed like a little girl. I did not protect that bat from staying in that tent at all, man. I was off and running. I did. I ran all the way to my truck. It was about 30 feet away. All the girls are making fun of me. So it's just, you know, you learn things. You learn things as you're growing up and stuff like that, man, about everything. But I mentioned the girls and stuff, and we have a great relationship. We like to have a lot of fun with each other. You know what I mean? Not only like going out skiing and all that stuff, but we play little jokes on each other. And we don't, you know, when you're playing a practical joke on each other, you don't know that it's happening or when it's going to happen. So, like, we were at school. Well, I was at school waiting for them to show up. It was first day of school. And this is when they were 5th and 6th grade. And they're at the stage where they don't want me around because I'm embarrassing to them, you know. So I'm going to show up, though, you know, and I'm going to support junior school and all that stuff. And I said, well, I'm going to embarrass the hell out of the girls, though. So I dressed just like my dad did. I wore some tube socks up like this. I put my work boots on. I cut off some overalls and had them shorts like this. Had a cut-off button-up shirt and a cowboy hat on. And I'm standing out in front of the Lemon Valley Elementary School. And this lady walks up to me and she's like, "Can I help you?" Now, I'm not the person that always thinks about what he says before he says it. I just say it. And I look at her. I said, "No, you know, adoption's gotten real expensive. I'm just checking out my options." I thought it was funny. She didn't. She calls the cops on me. I didn't know this. And so I get a phone call from their dad. That's where they were at. And he was dropping them off at a different part of the school. And I had to meet the kids in the backside of the school. So I'm just walking through Lemon Valley Elementary School, just one adult, dressed as fashionably as I was. And there was a cop walking behind me that I didn't know about. So I come walking through, and it's a straight shot. And then she comes walking around the corner, my oldest one. She's in 6th grade at the time. And she's walking with a boy. And now I really want to embarrass her because I don't want no boys around my girls. And so I start chasing her. I'm like, "Come to your new daddy. Come to your new daddy." So I'm playing the joke on her. Well, she turns it right back around on me, and she starts running from me, going, "Stranger danger, stranger danger." So this cop grabs a hold of the back of my overalls, and he's like, "What are you doing, sir?" I was like, "Oh, man, it ain't what it looks like. I was just having fun with my daughter. It's my stepdaughter. She's red hair, red freckles, you know what I mean? Don't look nothing like me. It's my stepdaughter." And he goes, "That's your daughter?" I go, "It's my stepdaughter, you know," and all this stuff. I go, "Anna, tell this fine gentleman that I'm your dad." She looks at me, looks at the cop, and goes, "I don't know who that is." 35 minutes in the principal's office, man, sitting in them small-ass chairs. I'm not kidding. I thought I was done with the principal's office when I got out of school, but we got it all cleared up. She said that was payback for Easter. Now, on Easter, I was made to go out and hide plastic Easter eggs for the kids. And I didn't want to go hide plastic Easter eggs at that time. And so I went out there with her cousin Cody, and on the way out, Cody's grandma goes, and while you're out there, clean up the dog poop. Whatever. We get out there and we're cleaning up the dog poop, and I was like, hey, Cody, we should put some dog poop in. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with this, man. I was like, well, I'm going to put it in one. So I just put it in one, and I hid it over there, and we had money and stuff and these other eggs. So it is what it is, man. It happened. And so everyone's gathering their eggs, and I know where my special egg is, and I see who gets it, and it's my oldest one. And I'm like, oh, God. So she gets it. Everyone's gathered up. Everyone's super happy, you know. And I go, hey, you know, not everybody checked all their eggs. And the 13-year-old, she's just like being real mouthy at the time. And she's like, oh, we all checked our eggs. I go, I guarantee you didn't. And out of a fit of rage, she shoves her hand into her bag to check an egg, and it happens to be the one with the dog poop on it. Gets all over in her bag. I mean, I just get pelted with a bunch of Easter eggs and stuff like that. There's no punchlines to some of these. That's just the reason why she didn't. So, but we have fun with it. She got over it. She didn't die. You know what I mean? So, we like to have a lot of fun and stuff. I don't know. I get in trouble though. Obviously, I get in trouble a lot of times with my girls. You know, I have two boys too. They live in Alabama. I just recently came back from Alabama. I went down for a family reunion. I got some family down. Well, it's her side, but it's still family. And we went down there, and I saw my grandma, and my grandma's like about 85 years old, and she's in a walker, okay? And she has a boyfriend now because Grandpa passed away, and he's in a walker, which is crazy when they want to go kiss each other, because it's like one of them old Ram commercials, like when the Rams would come together. But it's like in slow motion, man. It's just, it's really uncomfortable to watch. And so they're, you know, and watching them do this, it showed me why they made a pill, Viagra, that lasts 4 hours. Because it takes them like 4 hours to get from the sofa all the way down to their bedroom. So I'm just saying, it's just how it happened. So I was down there, and I don't know if anybody's traveled down south or not, but there's a place called the Piggly Wiggly. And it's just a grocery store down there, and they let special needs kids, you know, work at or people, you know, work, adults, and I don't mean people, you know, but work at the Piggly Wiggly, and I think that's cool, you know. But I also think that they should give fair warning that there's special needs people working at the Piggly Wiggly. I mean, I think it's only fair, because when I get caught off guard, I don't always act the way that I should act. And I'm walking into the Piggly Wiggly, and this little orange beanie from the side, you know, over here, was like, welcome to Piggly Wiggly, have a good day. And I stopped, and I started talking to myself. And I was like, don't do it, man. You ever try to stop yourself from doing something, but you still do it? And you know you're an asshole for doing it? This is one of them times. So I turned, and I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And I was like, thank you very much. I think I will. And that's one of those moments where you have two decisions. One, you can admit you're an asshole. Or two, play along with what you just started. At the time, I didn't feel like admitting I was an asshole. So I just started shopping through the Piggly Wiggly like a special needs person. I ain't saying this right, I'm just saying this is what happened. So I'm going through, and when I'm doing something, I like to give it my all, okay? I like to be the very best special needed person I want to be at that moment. So I'm shopping, and I'm thinking, I don't know how far I can extend my arm as a special need person. So the top shelf's off, bottom shelf's off, so I'm just middle shelf shopping, okay? I'm just swiping stuff in my buggy, shit I don't even need now, you know what I mean? Like, I got way carried away in my own head about this whole thing. So I grab all this unnecessary stuff, I get up to this check stand, and I'm checking out, and I kind of got a little offended being a special needs person, because they didn't ask me if I wanted to help out with my buggy to my car, you know, and I think you should always help special needed people and elderly out to their car with their groceries. I worked in a grocery store. That's what I was taught. But they didn't help me out, so whatever. So I get out to my car, and I start thinking, like, I don't know how to unload my groceries. I have special needs. So I just popped the trunk, and I remember people saying that they have extraordinary strength at sometimes. So I just dumped my whole cart into the trunk of my car, okay? I drive home, I get back, and we're getting ready to have a barbecue for the family reunion, and I'm sitting there, and I had told some people, and they're all laughing at me. And I didn't know why they were laughing at me until the special need kids the guy come walking into the house. It's like a second uncle of mine comes walking in the house, but he's not walking like he's special needed. He's walking normal. Come to find out, my second uncle or whatever finds out that they're giving jobs out to special need people. He'd been working at Piggly Wiggly for 2 months, acting this way. So when you look at me like an asshole, just remember he's the one that's working there. So that's a true story. You go to the Piggly Wiggly over there in Huntsville, you'll find them. So I don't know. It's crazy, like things that happen. Like I said, I get in trouble. I'm not allowed alone with my girls. Like she won't leave me to babysit the girls anymore, because I don't know. I just come up with some dumbass ideas. I think they're fun, But like she left us one time, and we're sitting around the house, and for one, I blame them because they don't have the same creativity I had when I was a kid. They're too busy staring at the TV, and they ain't got no motivation, so they're sitting there like, there ain't nothing to do. It's middle of summer, man. There ain't nothing to do. I said, 5 minutes, go outside, we'll figure something to do. Walk outside, I go grab the bicycle, grab the piece of plywood, and grab that log. They go, what are we going to do? I go, we're going to build a ramp. We're going to jump the Grand Canyon, be Evel Knievel. They go, what's an Evel Knievel? I'm like, are you kidding me? Okay, so they didn't like that idea. I go, okay, better idea. Keep the bicycle, grab the rope, grab the skateboard, grab the cat, and grab the duct tape. They go, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to teach that cat how to water ski. They said, cats don't even like water. I said, I beg to differ. When you try to put a cat in the water, what does it do? Straight legs. Perfect posture for water skiing. I'm just saying. She said, is it going to be safe? I said, as long as the cat does what it's supposed to do. So anyways. But to watch two little girls, and this is a couple years ago, to watch two little girls chase down a cat to try to duct tape to a skateboard, that's entertainment in itself right there. I'm just saying. So they get the cat gathered up, we get it to the skateboard, and we start duct taping it to the skateboard. And you have to duct tape it to the skateboard, and no cats were hurt. But you have to, or it's not going to stick around for the festivities, you know what I mean? They're just impatient little critters. So we just helped out. We do duct taping. You can use a dog, use a small dog. If you use a big dog, it'll drag your ass around wherever it wants to. That's 1986 experience right there. So anyway, so we get everything set up. We got the cat on the skateboard. We got the rope tight. I'm on the bicycle. I'm the motorboat because you need a big motor to pull a cat out of the water. And all of a sudden, I hear a door shut, and I hear all three of my names. Kelly, Robert, Hilbert, what are you doing? I was like, fuck, it's Unfun. That's what we call her mom. It's Miss Unfun. So I turn around, and it's just her. The girls already escaped out on me. They ran, man. They left me for dead. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, honey, you wouldn't believe this, but we found this cat stuck in the ditch, and I was just giving it a tow. 38 years old, man. 38 years old. I got grounded from a bicycle for 2 weeks. Isn't that some shit, man? I don't know. It's crazy. We argue over some crazy stuff. I didn't set my timer, so you just tell me whenever the hell to get off. So we argue over some crazy stuff, man. We've been together for 6 years. And, yeah, anybody in here play the lottery? Yeah, a little bit? Nobody else. Live in a gambling state, and nobody in here plays the fucking lottery. Okay. We went and got a lottery ticket the other day, and went out to Chilkoot and picked it up, or Hallelujah. And as we're coming back, we start playing the what would we do if we won the lottery game. You ever played that game? Oh, you don't play the lottery. So she asked me, like, if we win, like, whatever, $400 billion, whatever it was, like, what I would do with it. And I didn't put no thought into it. I was like, well, I did, but I didn't want to tell her my answer. So I go, what would you do, honey? And she goes, well, I'd build a house for my dad and give some to charity and do all this really great stuff, man. I was really impressed with how much thought and how much care she had into it. And she goes, now what would you do? I go, I don't know, but it has something to do with alcohol, drugs, and hookers. And she got mad. She goes, you didn't even mention me in that. I said, well, with the attitude you have right now, I don't know if I want you around, honey. And it's all. So she proceeded, well, she had a bad attitude. So she proceeded to tell me what I'm supposed to do with my money, if I win my money. And I'm supposed to give it to charity, build a house for her dad, and do all this stuff. And I was adding it up. And by the time I was done spending it the way that she wants me to spend it, I'd be out $5 for the lottery ticket. You know what I mean? But what I thought was worse was she was taking control of my fake money. Like, I can't spend my real money the way I want to spend my money. Now I can't even spend my fake money the way I want to spend my fake money? I don't know. All right, man. Well, I hope that you guys have had a good time tonight, man. It's been a blessing. It has been a blessing, man, to be a part of this and stuff like that. You guys have been a great crowd. Real quick, I want to say, thank you for letting me do this. And, if anybody in here, anybody part of the military or been part of the military? No? If you guys know anybody that is part of the military or see somebody, when you see them tomorrow or the next week and stuff like that, stop and take 5 seconds out of your life and say thank you for what they do, or we wouldn't be able to get to do what we get to do. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night.
Hey, Kelly Hilbert, let's give him one more big hand. Very funny, man. Jenna has a couple of parting words for you. Thanks again for being here. Jenna?
All right, just a few thank yous. First of all, I want to thank you guys all for being here. It really means a lot to me. This is an organization that I truly love with all of my heart. So thank you guys. Second, thank you to the comedians. Last time that I had these events, we had to pay the comedians, and they donated all their time, which means the world to me. That's absolutely amazing that they're willing to donate. These amazing acts that made me about fall off my chair. And third, I want to thank my parents and my family for being here and supporting me. Your support means the world, and I love all of you guys.
All right, guys, have a great time. Mic's still open. Have a wonderful night, and thanks again, you guys.